It's episode 2. Grant, 5K still goes to first place, $2,000 to second place, and you get your buy-in back, $1,000 if you finish third.
They didn't change the price structure in between episodes?
No, I talked to them, and they decided to stay with what they had.
Okay. Also, notably, first place gets a free $100 sports bet on Nitrogen Sports.
Yes, Nitrogen Sports Poker, where the poker guys play, and hopefully you too. Use the link in the description, by the way, if you want to sign up.
Yeah, do that, you jerks. All right, so Jake is... I think he'll open this, right?
Wow,
he folded. I'm a little
interesting.
bit surprised. Mitzev has kind of an awkward stack for Jake if Mitzev 3-bets, but it's not going to happen that often.
No. It's a surprising fold for Jake. Jake, though, really playing a little bit differently than he normally does, at least we had seen in last episode, although that was more normal Jake.
He would have flopped a backdoor straight flush draw. What a fool.
I mean, how can you fold there? So sick. Oh, and look at Jake now. He's got to be sad.
Mitzev has a king here, and Taylor's got just queen high. He does have a gut shot. I imagine we'll see... Oh, Taylor's going to start betting now.
He could have checked just for the showdown value of it along with the gutter, but...
Maybe he thinks he doesn't have a ton of showdown value?
I mean, if he doesn't have the best hand, he's almost always going to get called here.
That's true.
This is an easy hand for Mitzev to play. He's going to check call almost the whole time.
Yeah, and they just go check quickly there.
Maybe Taylor was betting because if he makes the gutter, if a 10 comes, it's incredibly hard to get paid.
Yeah.
So he's betting
And he
to
did
build a pot.
He did min bet.
Yep. Also deny equity.
Yep.
Totally reasonable.
Yeah, just in case Mitzev has some random 2 cards that could hit there.
Yeah. There's that beautiful Nitrogen Sports logo on our felt.
Look at that tan, creamy felt.
Oh, really does
like
it for me.
Beautiful latte.
All right. Anyway, Action Aaron under the gun. He's not going to play.
Action Aaron
He's
lost
short.
a lot of his stack near the end of the last episode against Terminator.
It's true, but he did he did get a big double through Joseph, and
Yep.
Joseph is now the short stack.
And Terminator going to keep trying to boss the table here with his ace-4 off.
You know what? I say great.
I say I'd like to see how it works out. So, yeah, it is great.
Terminator's the kind of guy who's going to fire multiple shells also, so bossing the table is going to work a lot if you have the heart to fire on the turn.
I think most players would call with Digital Dan's hand there, although Terminator did make it more than 3x. Maybe that influenced the fold.
Maybe. We're still, all our players are still in, so there's no ICM considerations or anything like that. We got 5 eliminations till the money. Nothing to be thinking about that way. It's just pure poker, Grant.
Now, some of you might be saying more than 3x. Aren't you always saying they should be 5xing it on Poker Time? Well, that's in the other format where know they're playing with cash, not with tournament chips.
Where the chips are endlessly replenished.
Yep.
Versus a tournament where they cannot be.
Kerry's going to open the king-queen off here.
Kerry, possibly the most solid player in this event.
He's quite solid. Taylor's pretty solid. Jake is pretty solid.
Yep.
Jake just calls the ace-king off there.
Interesting. Maybe, again, to give some of the short stacks like Aaron a chance to shove.
That was a disciplined fold by... Oh,
there you go.
There he goes.
Jake pulls it off perfectly. Exactly what Jake wanted to happen there. Like an insta-call with the ace-king.
Did you see Taylor disciplined fold ace-7 suited on the button there? A lot of players are going to call there, but against the early position opener, it's not a really great spot.
And he's got Action Aaron with the squeeze stack behind him.
So far, so good for Aaron.
Yeah, this is the one problem with trapping for Jake, but it wouldn't have mattered. I assume Aaron's... Well, I don't know. If Jake had 3-bet, maybe Aaron would have folded. Probably would have.
I think Jake's fine with that spot.
Of course.
Didn't work out, and Aaron's got a reasonable stack again. He's back over 40 blinds.
Jake would have beat a lot of hands where he beats all the other aces pretty much that Aaron's going to shove with. He's going to beat king-queen, king-jack, jack-10 suited, 9-10 suited, a bunch of stuff. It just not a pocket pair.
And for those Action Aaron fans out there, it's good news. He's sticking
That's
around.
Right. Action Aaron showing a little life.
As he gets a margarita there in the background, so maybe some more action coming from Action Aaron.
That's why they call him Action Aaron. The game isn't enough for that guy. He needs more.
He needs all the action.
That's right. There he is. Look at him. Look at him with that wallet.
He's also playing high-stakes bingo on his phone.
Pretty sweet. Joseph super short with the 3K.
Yeah, Joseph just hasn't been able to get it going.
We don't think he's won a single pot. Terminator, wow, so many more chips. He's got almost 9 times the stack Joseph has, and no one's been eliminated. That's tough to do.
And his main competition in Jake just took a bit of a hit.
Yeah,
now Terminator's the clear chip leader again.
Who's a footmaster?
It's a good deal.
I won 1 out of 18.
Kerry's going to open the ace-2 suited under the gun. This must be the very bottom of his opening range.
Interesting thing to do when Joseph has 13 blinds.
What were you saying about Kerry being solid? And now Terminator's going to 3-bet him with 6-5 suited because he knows.
This is fascinating. Kerry's probably just going to have to fold here, I think.
Yeah, this is the part of the range that you can fold if you decide to open it. When +1 3-bets you,
Yeah.
it's not a good spot.
There's the big stack.
Oh, he doesn't believe.
Is he
He's gonna.
Is he gonna four? This is his 4-betting range. It's a suited
Oh,
ace.
beautiful.
Carry.
Well done, Carey. It was a bit of a loose open, but I
Give
guess
up?
he probably has been seeing that Terminator has been trying to boss the table. And
Little
he's like,
bit.
you know, I'm just not going to let him do that to me. It's just not going to happen.
Boy, it sure feels good to 4-bet there and get the insta fold instead of because if he calls even, so many bad flops. What's a
Yeah.
good flop for you that isn't 2 pair plus? There
Yeah,
isn't
and
one.
There's not. Ace high flops aren't so good.
I mean, you're gonna often lose money if chips go in. So that worked out great. Great hand by Carey.
Yeah,
A lot of fun to see.
it's cool to see the light 4-betting range come into play.
Yep, even in a sit and go.
And here goes Terminator again under the gun, opening the Jack 10 off.
Sure, he's really trying hard here. I give him credit.
Yeah, he's trying to pound him into submission here. Mitzif with the unknown hand.
Looks like he is gonna play.
Looks like he's going to 3-bet.
Just enough to make it.
Terminator really getting knocked around. None of these. He's really tried to boss the table. I don't know if he succeeded
No,
once.
none of these guys are acquiescing.
It's interesting just because it's been like 4 or 5 hands he's tried and just failed every time. He's gonna call this time though, so maybe he can find a way to win this.
Pretty
pot
light
anyway.
open, pretty light call here with the positional stuff that's going on.
Yeah, under the gun, Jack 10 off.
Relatively big 3-bet for Mitzif as well, and now I'm pretty sure Terminator's just done with it.
Yeah, Mitzif is going to.
Oh, and Mitzif checks back. That makes me
Often
think he's got
queens.
ace, queen, something like that.
He can have queens, he can have jacks, he can
Yeah.
have tens. If he bets here, he's probably got an ace.
Yeah, because Terminator
Now he
has
checks
aces in
again.
his range. So yeah, Mitzif probably does have 2 tens or something like that.
Yeah. And I would think it's a bet is not going to work for the Terminator unless he bets huge. He could move in, that would work. Mitzif checks it back. Let's find out what he had here.
Jack high looks like
It is jacks.
jacks. Yeah.
Yep. It's sort of playing it face up, but that's okay.
Yep.
That board sort of demanded you have to play it fairly face up.
The ace is a really bad card for you if you don't have an ace there, because Terminator
Yeah.
has plenty of aces in his range.
Absolutely. Actually, yeah, bet on the river is going to be tough for Mitzif, but because it's the Terminator, he may have to find a call anyway on the river if Terminator bet.
Do you think Mitzif's embarrassed that he got seated in Scarf Corner and he's just wearing a hoodie? Like, it's Scarf Corner, buddy. You can't. There's no gray hoodies over here.
I don't know what to say, man. I mean, it's a tough time for Mitzif right now, and I'm just glad he won that pot. Otherwise, how would he feel?
Right. I mean,
Something
maybe
is-
that pot can buy him a scarf eventually.
It'll at least salve the wound
Yeah.
for a little period of time. Look, he's up. He's probably getting a
He's
scarf
like,
right now.
"Is there anybody have a scarf in the room?"
We end up with
Look at those shorts. This guy came. He thinks it's casual Friday, apparently.
But he's in Scarf Corner.
Yeah. It's the opposite.
one guy has ace queen.
Queen Jack off. Mitzif with a disciplined fold there.
Yep.
The other guy does.
6 players behind him to act. It's just not really good enough. Joseph,
Joseph is going for it.
he might win his first hand.
King Queen off. Perfectly reasonable shove.
Terminator,
I think he wants to call real bad with the 8-6 suited here.
he clearly does because he
And he makes
puts it
the
in
call.
there.
Well,
It's a little bit of a loose call, but here we go.
for the second time, we have a player at risk in this sit and go.
Joseph is at least a favorite to win his first hand or
Yeah,
lose his last.
He might win his first hand here.
It's tougher now.
Yeah, not such a good flop for him. Hey, there it is.
Just has to dodge an 8. He does.
And that's the only way Joseph gets to win. Is if he shoves, I guess.
Yep.
And all the players were hoping that there was going to be one less player, but no. Joseph's going to stick around.
They're probably all still hoping there's going to be one less player. They're always hoping that, right? It's like a football team hoping to score touchdowns. They're always hoping to score a touchdown, bro.
Sometimes they're just hoping for love, Jonathan.
Huh. You know what? I'm going to re-examine things.
Yeah,
That's a really good
think
point.
about that. Life's not all touchdowns and money, Jonathan. What about the greater things in life?
Like
Love, happiness,
scarves,
scarves, and climbing mountains.
style. Usher.
Carey's made his way into second place here, even though it's not that high above starting stack.
Carey's played, I think, very well so far.
Yes, he has.
He's been raised twice post-flop when almost no one else has. He's held on both times with top pair or better and been correct both times. It's 4-bet light. It's pretty cool.
Looks like we're working out a couple technical issues here.
Yep. Either that or Terminator's really thinking about what to do from the small blind. But it does seem there's a...
Technical issue. All right, Mitzif under the gun's going to fold the 8-9. We know that.
Digital Dan has raised. And We're up to carry, and now we're up to Terminator, who has folded. Apparently, okay, there's a lot of confusion here. Here we go.
Terminator is not folded.
Terminator calls with the 6-3 off. This is Terminator has lapsed back into normal Terminator.
Yes, he
type
has.
Things.
He has enough chips now. He's like, I'm just gonna terminate.
Yeah, he's no longer trying to protect John Connor.
Well, that's a bad flop for Digital Dan.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think if a bet's gonna win it if he just decides to do so.
He doesn't have to bet, but I kind of
This
like
is-
one here.
This is gonna be. Oh, he
Oh,
looks
he-
like
yeah.
Terminator folded before Dan could
Yes.
even put the chips in
He
the middle.
saw the money was coming in, and 6-3 off ain't gonna do it. Yeah, I'm not sure about that call from the small blind there, Terminator.
I'm not so sure either.
You're reverting to questionable decisions there on that one, but yeah, at least you have the chips to make that call. That's all I got. Great.
Got the chips.
Although less chips now.
He's got the chips.
Digital Dan thinking, looking. Quick folds are all around as we get to
Joseph
Scarf
folded
Corner.
King 9 suited there.
I've never seen anything like that.
He's pretty short.
Yeah. Terminator raising the button with King 10 off. A legitimate hand.
It's going to defend, as he should.
Can't wait.
Everybody misses.
So Terminator wins usually here. Now he
Gonna
checks
check
back.
it back. That's fair. Watch out for the 6 on the turn. Hey, how did
What?
he know?
That's kind of nuts, man.
Easy bet for Mitzif, and
What is it,
Almost-
500 there?
looks like it.
And that's just going to take it down, yeah.
Yep. I actually like how Terminator played that hand. That board is not one he can rep very comfortably. If he's betting, he's repping an overpair, which he's not going to have that often.
He's really
Mitzvah's
not.
the kind of guy who might check raise light against him anyway. I think it's a good move to check back and fold on that turn for Terminator.
I think you're right. Sometimes you just got to let your opponent win with 8 high.
Yeah, let's remember, we're opening the button as Terminator. We have our widest range, and Mitzvah knows that, and we know Mitzvah knows that. I think it's a good play, just to lose that pot.
Ace high, I think we have to call the turn.
We have to at least very strongly consider
Yeah.
calling the turn.
There you go. That's-
Folds to Jake on the button.
Probably going to fold this. We've seen him fold hands like this on
Oh,
the
yeah.
button.
Mitzvah might just give this one up, too. This is ugly.
I've seen him
Let's see how much heart this guy. Yep, no heart at all.
play.
Taylor hasn't won a pot in a while.
There he goes. He got the win with the Jack 9 suited there. He was definitely defending the Jack 9
Yeah,
suited.
he had the most playable hand out of anyone, so seems fair. He gets to win.
Scarf corner, where Taylor and Mitzvah aren't allowed to come when they're dressed like that.
And yet, Mitzvah is in star.
Somehow he must have bribed somebody, you know?
could have just used that money to buy a scarf. But I guess he's got his own fashion sense, doesn't he? You saw those shorts, right?
Yeah. He's making a statement.
That guy is that outfit for Mitzvah says I play at the YMCA, you know? Basketball at the YMCA, that's me.
Looks like Terminator's going to bump it up with a
Yep.
reasonable hand here. Jake might 3-bet. This is a good 3-betting spot.
It's a reasonable 3-betting spot for sure. He looks like he is considering putting some chips in, and it does look like a 3-bet is getting counted out. Love it. Jake absolutely in a different gear than his normal cash game self.
And the thing about this 3-bet against Terminator specifically is that we don't have much fold equity. So in a weird way, it's a blocker 3-bet because it's only a 7, but at the same point, it's kind of for value against Terminator's
Yeah.
range because Terminator's going to call a lot.
And as you can see, Jake does have the best hand.
Well,
Jake should
if
try
he
and rep
bets,
this.
he's going to win, I think.
He should absolutely bet this.
Terminator does have 2 backdoors.
This is a board that Jake can rep pretty comfortably. Can absolutely have ace king here.
How does he size it here? Looks like another 18. So he's 17 pre, 18 now.
Yep. There's 2 spades. It's not unreasonable to size it about there. Terminator has not folded yet. Is it because he has 2 backdoors?
He's feigning confusion.
Terminator down to 19,000, so he's really fallen back to the pack as he's... Since he had that huge double up through Action Aaron, he's tried to boss the table a bit, but has kind of failed all the way
I think
through.
he might have tried too early to boss the table.
Yeah.
People aren't scared yet.
There's not enough. Yeah, that's true. And actually, there's not as much to win without antes in there, like you were
Yeah.
saying in the last episode. And the blinds aren't even that big yet either. That said, if Terminator could have gotten a little bit hot, he might have all the chips right now.
Yeah, this didn't go might have been over by
Yeah.
now. Joseph under the gun just begging for a hand here.
5.3K. Still has, 26 blinds.
Yeah.
got some time.
Antes are coming into play next level. He'll be excited for that probably.
He should
although
be.
not for the level up necessarily.
Yeah. It's only going to go to 150-300, so it won't be too bad.
Carry with the ace-jack off. Not a comfortable hand to play pretty much ever, but when you got to.
And Action Aaron will defend very reasonably with the queen 10 of diamonds.
I like the queen 10 here.
Okay, sure. Whatever.
Yeah. Well,
Good
that's
flop.
an interesting flop. Not only does Action Iron have the open-ended, he also has a backdoor flush draw.
See how Kerry sizes this. He's been sizing interestingly.
511. No, 300. He bet 300.
Wow, that is interesting sizing. Great. I mean, it's easy when you've got the queen 10 of diamonds. You can raise if you want, but a call is fine.
Well,
Great card for Kerry.
Yeah. Really nice. I think he's just going to keep going for value here.
He
He's-
sizes small again.
He's just trying to make sure Aaron calls with his 9s.
He's trying to get nines and like Jack 10 and stuff like that. But that ace shit would have scared a lot of them.
Oh,
That is the problem.
that's where... Well, I think the sizing wouldn't have helped. I think Action Aaron was probably going to call most of
Well,
the
I
time.
don't know if he sized it big enough. Aaron would have at least considered.
And Aaron's
folding.
just going to lead out here.
How much does he bet? Is it 1K? It's only 1K. I mean, it really looks.
it's 2K.
2. There you go.
So Kerry probably has to just call here. If Aaron had
Oh.
bet really small, Kerry could consider value raising, although it is hard to get called by worse in most cases.
Kerry's hand is just too strong to fold there, even though Aaron's hand really does look like Queen 10, honestly, the line he took.
It does, but you can't fold.
I agree.
And with that, the players are going to go on a quick break, and they're going to come back to some antes.
All right, antes are starting.
It'll be fine.
All right, and the players are back from break now, and with that comes a new blind level, 150-300, with a 25-chip ante.
It's good for Joseph, although the blinds are up. He does have more to win when he shoves. Of course, he has very little fold equity on someone who's open like Kerry. Jake thinking about it with the 9 deuce. I'm
I
not
don't think
sure
he
what.
was. I don't think that's true. Mitzif is
Good.
definitely going to play this hand.
Action Aaron has to fold, and Joseph.
You can call here.
Well, it's 400. How much does he have? 5.1K. He can call. It's okay to fold, but he can definitely call. He's getting an incredible price. Okay, he should call. He's getting over 5 to 1. I guess he
Yeah.
has to call.
Ooh.
But it's not the end of the world to fold here, because if he doesn't make a really good hand, he's just, when he gets it in, he's often going to be way behind.
True, but the value of the pot is pretty good already
Yeah,
for him.
that's true. That is true.
Good flop for Mitzif. Pair and a gut shot here. Kerry does have the backdoor nut flush draw.
Kerry decides to continue on this this board that seems like it's better for Mitzvah's range.
I wonder if he wouldn't continue if he didn't have the ace of spades.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he probably would not have.
Well, that's a good card for Mitzif unless Kerry has a 9. He does not have many 9s in his range.
Joseph's really wishing he would have shoved now. He would have made
Oh,
it
yeah.
straight on the turn, but what are you going to do? Mitzvah's going to bet, and that's going to end it.
Yeah, I don't think Kerry can continue at this point. And Joseph with a look of sadness on his face, trying to contain.
Yeah. Maybe the board would have paired, Joseph. It's possible.
It's possible the board would have paired.
Don't worry,
It
man.
happens with, not so infrequently.
The board pairs once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean-
I saw it once.
We'll see how it sounds.
Scarf Corner looking disinterested.
It's interesting when you're in a sit and go where there's certain parts in the sit and go where I think you really have to rev up and put a lot of pressure on people. Other points where you really want to lay back, and trying to figure out when the inflection points are is a big part of this sit and go.
Right. I think a lot of it is putting pressure on the medium stacks when there are short stacks and you have a big stack. That's a big part of sit and go strategy.
It works better, of course, when you're closer to the money. Like
Yes,
where we are
absolutely.
right now isn't going to have a lot of value to put any
Right.
pressure on people. They're just going to play their hands more directly. But as people start to get eliminated, which is going to have to happen, the blinds are going to keep going up. That's going to become much more powerful. When we get either right on the bubble or one off the bubble, that's going to start to really matter.
All right, we got a pretty fair fight between these three hands here. Kerry with the most equity, but
Yeah, significantly more equity than
You know.
everybody else. And
Well,
even more so now.
because the software knew the 10 was coming, that must be what was going on.
Yeah, software can look ahead. That's one of the features. We paid a little extra for it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
look ahead feature.
Yeah.
It's very smart. Taylor decides to bet his 9-7. That makes sense. He's got essentially no equity in this
I
pot.
think Dan's going to call here with 2 4s.
It is very reasonable for Dan to call.
Now he decides to fold. Carey is behind him.
Still, that's an interesting fold. A
Carey's-
good fold.
Carey's going to call. These two know each other quite well. Played a lot of poker together.
Carey's
That's,
got this one locked up.
Now, it would be interesting to see Carey lead here.
He
'cause
is
he's
going
supposed
to.
to like that 10 more than Taylor, and he is going to lead.
I don't know if he's supposed to like it more than Taylor.
I think he has more 10s in his
Taylor
range.
raised pre and c-bet. I guess he has more 10s, yeah.
And he's going to get the bad news that Taylor doesn't have an overpair. Now, see,
Yes.
that's a reason to lead, too, because Taylor's going to check back 2 8s, 2 9s,
Yeah, of
and all the
course.
other pairs. And he's kind of got a call against a guy like Carey when Carey leads there.
Does he?
I think so, because
Not sure.
Carey's going to have bluffs in his range there.
Okay, as long as he has some bluffs. Fair enough. We did see him do the light 4-bet. He's the only guy who's done that. So
Yeah.
maybe you're right. But yeah, we're going to need some proof on that.
I think that was a clear range advantage card for Carey, and if you're going to be a balanced player against other good players, you're going to have to bet your bluffs and your value on range advantage
I mean,
cards.
the top card pairing when it's a Broadway card is not as much of a range advantage as like if it was the second or third card. You know, the deuce or the 3 would be much better for Carey.
I agree,
range
but Carey check
advantage-wise.
calling means he has a ton of 10s, and Taylor just c-bet. That's all he did.
You're right. You're right. And really, Carey can have all the 10s except for pocket 10s.
Right, and he can't have 9-7 of diamonds, and Taylor can.
Of course.
Taylor with a pretty suited ace here, and Carey has his 8th blocked. We're
Jake
going to
is
go heads up here.
pounding one out there on the...
He's doing what now? Jake is, in fact, a musician. He plays the
Yeah,
drums.
that's right.
He does play the drums, so...
Goes check, check. Taylor not messing with Carey now, and Taylor
Oh.
gets there.
Well, that's just a terrible card for Carey's hand. And Taylor checks back. I like that.
Watch out for the spade. No spade. Carey checks, and
Taylor's got to
gonna
go
have
for
to
value
bet.
now, but I don't think Carey's going to pay him off.
Well, if you have King Queen, you gotta believe King Queen would have bet sooner than this, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. Carey does have a reasonable hand to call with.
It's a small bet. He's getting 5 to 1.
Same point. Would Taylor bet so small if he was bluffing? That's the question Carey's trying to ask himself. Or how often would he bet this small when he's bluffing, perhaps? And he makes the right fold.
He does.
Super solid. Trying to look through Taylor's soul there, see if he had it.
I wonder if Carey would have considered raising as a bluff there if he were the big blind instead of the small blind, because then his range is inclusive of so many more full houses than Taylor's range. But out of the small blind, he has one of his stronger calling ranges, so
Yeah.
it's not as likely he's going to have deuce 3 or something like that.
It's a really tough spot for Taylor if Carey raises there, though.
Absolutely.
He's almost never going to have a full house.
Taylor doesn't
himself.
usually have a 6.
Right.
Carey has more 6s, well, especially if Carey's the big blind. He was a small blind. I would like to have seen if he was the big blind and he tried to make that move. That would have been a cool thing. Looks like Taylor's
Taylor.
going to play again.
Yep.
Oh, folds the ace 10.
That's a surprising
It's
fold.
a bit of a surprise. I guess he's just waiting for people to go a little bit nuts or something.
Did Action Aaron fold?
No,
Okay.
we just kind of went past him there.
Couldn't see his
Because
cards
he
there.
announced raise and the other guys folded.
Oh, okay. That's
Terminator's going to call the 10-6 suited. Jake's going to fold the 7-3 suited against these two guys. That's a bit surprising when he's getting such a price.
Yeah, and he's got them both covered, I think, at this point, just barely. But so he could get the full double pretty much, or nearly a full double from Terminator.
Well, it wouldn't have worked out, but neither of these guys have anything either.
Checks both ways, and Action Aaron picks up the flush draw.
And King High is usually good here.
Yes. Although often Terminator or your opponent won't let you find that out. They're often going to put a little pressure on you. But it looks like
Just goes check, check all the way, and Action Aaron gets to win with the King High. It's a nice
I
feeling.
like the heart on the turn, but
Sure.
it's a really annoying turn card.
I'm a little surprised Terminator never took a shot there.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like,
No idea.
I kind of like Action Aaron checking the ace ace deuce flop because he might do that a lot with an ace.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so it's harder for Terminator to take a shot on the turn because Action Aaron has a lot of aces in his range on the flop.
I agree with that. But Terminator did call out of the small blind. Now, it is Terminator, so he doesn't have traditional ranges, but the small blind should be pretty ace heavy there.
Yeah, traditionally, I'll
Yes.
say.
But Scarf Corner is not. Scarf
No.
Corner bucks tradition.
Clearly. Digital Dan. Wow, everyone's playing a little tight.
Well,
for,
with his, he has
for
an
what we see.
awkward stack for early position with King Jack off there. I understand the fold.
Just I didn't know these guys were gonna be so sensitive to their stack sizes at this point.
The antes
That's all.
came in there and everybody got scared, I guess.
Yep. This is the time to take the antes, not let other people have them.
Looks like we've got just a call on the button from Terminator. He's done trying to boss the table. He's going to try to limp his way back in. And we've got very similar hands for all of the players here.
Nobody flopped
Well, Jake,
nothing.
what are you talking about?
Except I wasn't done. Jake flopped top pair, and that's going to be it. No one's got a heart.
Yep. I like the lead out here. Nobody has
Sure.
the betting lead, and we got to protect against so many things.
It's one of those spots where if you get raised, you're not going to love your life, but
Probably just going to fold.
you're just going to not worry about it until it happens.
Yep.
One thing at a time. Sometimes you got to plan. Sometimes you just got to bet.
Yep.
That was a Scarf Corner bet time.
It was Scarf Corner bet time.
That, by the way, would make a great video series.
Scarf Corner bet time?
Yeah.
Do you
Not
think-
bedtime, by the way.
Yeah,
Not
of
go
course.
to sleep. Bet.
Oh, they like to bet.
Yeah.
Do you think Terminator and Jake are embarrassed that Mitsif's in Scarf Corner and that nobody's like doing anything
I
about
think
it?
they're going to try and push him out, like a gentrification kind of a
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
may happen. Yeah.
For sure.
All right, Digital Dan, you just folded King Jack off one position later, so yeah. You
Yeah.
should probably be folding Ace 9 then.
Good fold.
Grant hates Ace 9, as everyone knows.
I hate certain ways of playing Ace 9.
Here's Jake. He's going to have to open this one on the button.
I
Surely.
imagine he will, yeah.
Surely. And he does. There
It's
it
like
is.
the old 800.
See, Taylor's, we've seen, is going to defend a lot, but that is
Not
not
that hand.
in the range. Taylor's probably going to defend something like, I don't know, 90-some-odd% of his range there, I would think. But
Yeah.
that is the bottom. That's the very bottom.
I've heard that from poker experts.
What they say in the books is if you can play a hand, you shouldn't play that one. You should play a
Is that how they phrase
I'm
that?
pretty sure that's in Super System.
Yeah,
And in Felhelm, you play poker like the pros,
yeah. Uh-huh.
which is the first poker book I ever read.
I'm a jackal.
Nice. That is an actual reference to that
Is it?
book.
I was just going to say an animal and hope it was right.
You were right. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm not 100% sure.
Is there
anymore.
eagle? Is it eagle?
Eagle?
Elephant? Is there an
Eagle,
elephant?
elephant, mouse,
Platypus?
jackal. I think eagle, elephant, mouse, jackal.
Is there
And
no
then there's
platyp-
one more. There's one more.
Are there any amphibians at all, even?
Yeah, I can't speak to that.
Well, that's offensive. Carrie raises King Jack off here.
And
That's
another
gonna do
raise
it.
and take it.
Digital
Digital-
Dan, same big blind hand as Taylor.
I think they're even the same two cards. 7 of clubs, 2
Did
of
anybody
diamonds.
even shuffle?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
Thanks. How often do you hear that per hour in poker? Like 0.3 times per hour on often?
Not
on
said in that
average?
sort of weird, gravelly, creepy way you just said it, though.
What are you talking about with those adjectives? I think we should go with
I-
smooth, buttery, wonderful
I
way.
encourage everyone to rewind about 15 seconds and listen to it again, and you be the judge.
Nobody has the time to rewind 15 seconds. It's
You make the
we're
call.
in the go-go 90s right now.
We're not in the go-go 90s.
Oh, I have no idea what year it is.
Yeah.
Okay, Joseph, with the bad run of cards continuing,
I think he's funny, but like one more drink or two more drinks and then.
Here's
Jake's
Jake.
got ace-jack again. He's had this a couple times.
Yep. He's definitely going to open this one with his 19K in front of him. It's one of the chip leaders, if not the chip leader at this point.
Yeah, there's nobody's pulled away. Terminator was trying to, but it kind of fell back to earth.
Yep.
It's 8 to me.
Action Aaron. We're going to have 3 straight raise and take it.
Looks like it.
Wow. That is against these guys' DNA.
And the raise and takes are worth so much more now with 150, 300 blinds and the antes coming into play.
Yeah.
Every pot begins to matter.
You are correct. There's 650 just sitting out there.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Isn't that what Antonio always says?
He does say something just like that. That's right. He does it always to justify C betting. But
Right.
yes.
So every time Barry Greenstein's playing it, he's saying it like 5 times per minute.
Saying Norman, there's 1.72 million in the pot. Just sitting there. You can't just check. Like how he calls him Norman. Terminator's got a hand, people. Alert, alert.
I mean, he's got mostly a hand.
He's got a hand.
it's not a
Skynet.
hand. It's
Alert
not a
Skynet.
hand that loves getting 3-bet or anything.
No.
Jake's gonna fold the Jack 9 suited there. There
It's too
are
early.
there are a lot of players behind him.
Mitzit folds the 8-6 suited. These guys are in sit and go mode for sure. Out of cash game mode. Joseph, we finally have a guy who's.
Oh
Oh my.
my-
What?
The perfect fold by
How
I
did he
don't-
do that?
What the?
I thought it's move in or call, right?
Do you think Joseph marked the cards? Maybe. Do you think
It
maybe?
seems like he must have marked the cards. He must be cheating. I don't understand what happened.
That was Batiste level.
That was like beyond Batiste level. That
I
was
don't know. I don't know. It's pretty
crazy.
hard to be beyond Batiste
All right,
level with
fine.
some of those.
Joseph had 18 blinds, King Jack, and Jake opened, right? Not
No, it was
Terminator.
Terminator.
Terminator opened. That is an easy call or move in. Both are completely reasonable. Joseph makes the perfect fold.
That's kind of nuts.
Wow. Man, that fold was so good. Joseph ought to get into origami.
Oh, I get it. Origami corner.
That
we already know that carries into origami.
That
so.
fold was so good. Joseph's be getting calls from Gap. You know what I'm saying? To fold the close because he folds well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It said Terminator just folded king queen under the gun. I don't think that's right. I think that was his hand from last hand. Software just had it wrong there. But Jake, I think, really does have ace jack here. Gonna open it to 800.
Taylor folds. Digital Dan, 2 5s, 8K in front of him. That's 27 blinds. Yep, I think that's the right fold for Digital Dan.
Yeah, you don't have the right implied odds, and shoving is probably not the right move.
Especially against Jake's open.
Well, Joseph is probably going to shove this, right?
Gotta play this one, don't you? You can't shove 2 in a row. I mean, you can't fold 2 in a row here.
He looks like he's really considering it.
Does, and he almost folded right there. I think he's going to find a fold.
Joseph
again.
is playing extremely tight since he's gotten short.
This is surprising. Oh, there we go. He can't. Just move it in, buddy. You can just move in with 2 8s here. It's going to be really hard to play post flop. Calling is probably a mistake. I think it's move in or fold, but I think it's move in, Grant.
I think it's move in for sure.
Jake was
We're not near the
+1.
money. If we're on the bubble, I could consider folding.
Yeah.
here.
Also, if there's other short stacks, we need to gamble it up anyway as Joseph here.
Yeah, I agree.
We're happy to get it into a race, and it's okay if we just get knocked out. It's okay.
Yeah, we get to go have dinner then.
And he folds.
Wow, that's a bit too tight, I think.
That was he had 14 blinds. It's like almost a perfect shove stack. I mean, what's Jake going to do? I think Jake's going to find a call, actually, with ace queen.
Ace jack.
Ace jack. I still think he's going to find a call. He's going to feel like he's getting too good a price. It's just a little too good, but he's not going to like it at all. And Joseph will have, the most equity.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just a bit nitty there.
It's Joseph may not see another hand as good as 2 8s the rest of the way here. That may be it.
Yeah.
Like he's only got 14 blinds.
Well, we haven't seen Joseph play in a tournament setting before. I guess he really values his tournament life.
Yep. Well, if you think you have a clear edge on your opponents, fair enough. Maybe he picked up something on Jake.
Maybe. Joseph does seem to try to get reads on people a lot.
I'm going to give him a lot less credit, though, for folding when Randy opened, since he then folded immediately after when Jake opened. And
right.
One time he folded perfectly, the other time not so much. Digital Dan says no. Joseph the king 9 off. Just folds it again on the button.
That's a pretty nice shoving hand on the button there.
He had the stack to do it. That would have been fine again. Interesting.
Terminator's got a pretty looking hand for the big blind in this spot. Oh, well, that's a very pretty looking hand at this point.
Can he get any chips out of carry here? That's the question.
He checks it back, and that's his attempt. We don't know what carry has.
Maybe carry. Oh, carry checks like he's not that interested.
Got to start betting now, right? Nope. He checks again. Looks
Carry
like Carrie's
is going to bet.
Oh, he bets. How much did he bet?
Is it the
Did
full
he announce?
1,000?
He did
It
bet
is.
the full 1,000.
Easy raise time.
It kind of sucks if you get shoved on.
Well, you just can't worry about that right now, though. You got to go for some value.
Yeah, he makes it 3K there, and Carrie quickly folds.
It's hard to get called because Carey has to have a deuce or a worse flush. Or
Yeah.
maybe he could have rivered a straight. Could have 4-6 or ace-4 or something like that.
You
But
probably have to try for a raise, even though it does put you in a really crappy spot if you get 3-bet.
yeah. I think Carey's probably going to call with the straight with the deuces out there when Terminator raises him on the river.
Yeah, Terminator could have a deuce.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Carey does with a deuce. He might consider folding
If he has a bad deuce, he
a
probably
bad
does
deuce.
fold.
Yeah.
We haven't seen too many bluff raises on the river in this sit and go, like 0.
No, we
As
saw
you're usually-
Taylor overbet the river as a bluff.
Oh,
but
you
it
know what?
was-
That's true.
It was not a raise, though. It
That was the
just-
one really big. I guess Terminator also bluffed at one point, or Mitzvah bluffed Terminator at one point unsuccessfully as well.
Yeah, that's correct.
But that's different than raising as
Yeah.
a bluff, as you're saying.
Well, this is a nice small blind hand for Terminator here.
He could play this any way he wants. He's deciding to raise it up. That's fine.
I imagine with the stacks as they are, Jake will just call here.
Yeah. I like calling much more than raising here as Jake. You're in position. I'm sure he feels very confident in his poker abilities. Why inflate the pot?
Well, that's not the flop he was looking for. And Terminator checks quickly.
As Jake, we're just going to check it back with a hand as good as we have, I
Yeah,
think.
we have some showdown value here. Although now we're drawing dead.
Not as much
Terminator's-
showdown value,
Is Terminator going to try to start getting value now? He's been very passive when he's flopped well in the blinds these past two hands. Bet's almost pot here.
It's too much. We're trying to get called by a hand that isn't an ace, right?
Yeah, like an 8-9 hand.
Yeah. Like Jake checks, so Jake often has some kind of showdown value, at least some of the time. So seems like we want to bet so we want to target the sort of weaker range that's the weaker one pair hand. So you got to bet a lot less.
Well, maybe Terminator's trying to throw Jake a bone because they're scarf guys, you know?
You know
Saying,
what?
Like, I got a hand scarf guy. We don't
Yeah.
want to fight us scarf guys.
The thing is, just kick him under the table. You know, don't be so obvious with this betting.
That's true,
stuff.
that's true.
Like, there's so many easy ways to collude here. Send him a text.
Right. Well, they'll learn how to collude better next time they wear scarves together.
Yeah. Okay.
In Scarf Corner.
I'm excited for future episodes with different. You know, the next time we do a sit and go, and who's going to be wearing? What people are going to be looking like in Scarf Corner? You know, who's going to be wearing scarves that time?
Taylor opening the Queen Jack suited under the gun. A very pretty hand.
Action Aaron with the real hand as well.
Gonna just call here. That's fine.
Yep.
Terminator gonna call the Jack 10 off on the button. A little loose.
But not the end of the world.
Yep.
And here we go. 3 ways. Reasonable hands. Taylor with the initiative. Already 2.8K in the pot. That's what happens as these blinds go up.
It's a great flop for Aaron.
It's going to be hard for Aaron to... And Taylor checks right away, too. So Aaron gets to bet. And got to think this
That's
is going
gonna
to
be the end of it. Yeah.
I'm sure Aaron will be happy with that just to take it down, especially with his current stack size.
It's
Gets
a sizable pot.
Yep. The pots are just going to keep getting bigger. That's one of the things that's always interesting about the tournament format or a sit-and-go format is, you know, just a normal raise and continuation bet as time goes on. Something becomes a big part of everyone's stack and becomes life or death almost a lot of the time.
And Jake's taking over the chip lead with that pot lost by Terminator.
Probably more fat than most.
Terminator, not right there, though. He's not too far back. Joseph still hanging on.
Hanging on.
What is he going to fold kings next time, by the way?
Yeah, because maybe the other guy will have aces. It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Meat and
By the way, Digital Dan's starting to get into the danger zone, too.
Yep,
I did
he
just
sure is.
order a bacon egg.
And that's not going to help. Am I right? The old flat tire?
That's correct.
Normally,
Not going to help. You are
I
right.
would not eat the bread with it, but just because it would be messy.
Ooh, Carrie with a big hand here.
Probably will, but like,
I don't think he'll be folding no matter what with the stack depth unless
For
some
sure.
crazy action happens.
I just don't eat much.
There's no way.
Or
Taylor's
gonna
going to
matter.
defend the
Oh,
Jack
wow.
6.
That's surprising.
That's a pretty light defend.
He's just, I think with the antes, he just feels he's getting too good a price.
it's hard to be sustainable.
He's hoping Carrie has a hand kind of like he has.
Well, not anymore. He does have the only flush draw. It's hard to know that, though.
Yeah. Carrie decides to bet.
That'll end things. I mean, there's a lot to protect against on that board.
Yep.
If a diamond comes, Taylor just gets to win, you know?
Sure.
To literally have 80%.
Because Carrie's not going to turn his hand into a bluff at that point, usually.
calorie intake
No, I
from
wouldn't think so.
fat is
At the same point, a lot of times
70%.
players are going to check back
Yeah, it's-
monochromatic flops.
True. But there's so much to win out there.
That's true. That's a great point.
Yeah,
There was like 1,600 in the pot, more than 1,600.
Right.
Yeah, no, it
Like in a
really
cash
is.
game,
It's
$17.50.
c-betting never makes you feel excited or nervous
To
in a
me, it's
cash
not-
game because it's never
I
for
didn't
that
feel
much
like it was
money.
sustainable
Right.
for
And
me,
but in a
so-
tournament, it can be for like 20% of your stack is at play all of a sudden, you know?
Yeah.
If you were doing it,
Very quickly it becomes, I need to win this
through the
pot.
frickin'
Or,
roof, man. It's like,
you know, if I'm not
it's probably
careful,
the
I'm going to,
most
should I even make
hyper-bonus
this
stack.
bet because it's such a big part of my stack to do it? And
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't.
You get
Even though I
cells in your
you know,
body's producing
don't
ketones,
protect against it, and I don't deny
grateful,
equity, and I
you're
don't
a
charge
little
him,
clear-headed,
you know, for
Right.
his draw
high
or whatever.
energy.
We haven't seen
Yeah,
Mitziv with
ratings.
anything to play with for this episode.
No.
Got a little blind versus blind battle. Taylor versus Dan.
Domination. And nobody loves that flop.
So fast, and then you're
Let's see if Digital Dan's going to take a shot. If
I think he probably should
This is a
with
good
this
card.
part of his range.
doesn't seem interested. Well,
Well,
Digital Dan
he
gets
knew he
there.
was gonna. He knew he was gonna get there. It's hard to get value, although he can get called by king
So
highs.
the benefits are huge,
But
to,
It's
I
okay to
understand
check
checking
there.
back
It's
there.
okay to check.
insane.
I don't think Taylor's going to call with the queen high.
Probably not, but with king high, he'll consider it.
He'd have to consider it. But against Digital Dan, he'd probably just fold. It looked like Digital Dan was not interested in betting, even if he missed. He was
Yeah.
probably just going to give up either way.
I think so.
So
It's
that'd be a good
crazy.
reason to
It is
not call with
literally
queen
like-
high or even king high.
If
you're
you had
Taylor.
that read at least.
Yeah, you're right.
Like I had a-
Like it's easier for us when we can see the cards.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what they tell us. A lot of people tell us that.
Well, they're right. They're right.
They're right, but they're also wrong. You know, they're also wrong.
And
It's harder to when you can see the cards, guys.
I gave her
Yeah.
some samples.
You know,
Because you have too much information.
exactly. Too much data.
Brain
Data overload.
overload.
The energy
Yeah,
like, I
you'd
don't
rather
have amp or
you can't
anything,
process it
but
all.
just, I don't have any
You guys don't
crashes,
know.
and I don't have any cravings, and I just feel more mentally clear.
Just a reminder, not just $5,000 to first place.
I mean,
$5,000 and a
I've done a lot
free
of stuff in
$100
my life,
sports
but
bet on
there-
Nitrogen Sports
there
Poker.
hasn't been
And look
anything
at
that's
this.
been
Taylor with
so
aces on the button.
This is going to help Taylor a little bit getting to that $100 sports bet and the 5K. And he's going to get.
Aaron's gonna call the 7-3 suited, which is reasonable.
It actually is reasonable.
Offsuit, I would think a fold is in order, but I like the call here. And look
Well,
at
here
this
we go.
flop. We got a flush draw against top set.
Here we go. Action Aaron really has built the stack up.
Taylor could double through Action Aaron on this hand.
Yes. There's already 1.8k in there. You can absolutely do it.
He checks back because he has the board crushed, I suppose.
Because there are a lot of bad cards, but that is a pretty good card.
Aaron picks up a 3 to go with his flush draw. Does Taylor raise or just call now?
I would guess he's just going to call.
And Aaron bets about pot. It's a big bet.
I mean, what is Aaron supposed to have that he
does
can
just
call
call.
a raise with? There's just not. I mean, he could have 10-9.
Yeah, or he could have Queen Jack of clubs or something.
Yeah, but you'd be worried that you could fold it out.
Oh my goodness.
What a card.
Look at this card.
Well,
Taylor's doubling up for sure,
It would
right?
be hard. I mean, Taylor's barely more than a pot left. If Aaron checks, he's checking a check raise, right? I mean, if he bets, he's betting to get it in, I would assume.
I mean, when he gets shoved on, if he does bet, which he will get shoved on if he bets,
Yeah.
it's not a great spot, but his price is going to be so good.
Aaron could actually shove himself, too.
I think that's maybe the right play.
Try and get called by a 9.
Yeah.
Looks like he made a normal bet instead.
What do you bet there? 2.5K. I think
Half
Taylor's
pot.
just going to move in for the 5.8
Well, of course.
total.
Of course he
and
is.
It's going to take a little time, make it look a little bit like a decision.
This is a bad spot for Aaron now. He may feel like he has to call.
I mean,
He
look at
does
the price.
call.
He calls.
But you're kind of, I mean, Taylor has to have trip 9s and decide to move in when he wouldn't have to with trip 9s when the clubs are out
It
there.
seems like you're not really beating anything, but like in the off chance that Taylor's just getting a little wonky, the price is so good.
I mean, is Taylor ever getting a little wonky?
Probably not.
That's the
So
problem.
you think we're supposed to fold?
I don't know. I mean, I'd be worried that Taylor's never moving in with a worse flush, moving in with a lot of better flushes and full houses, not moving in with trip 9s. These are the things I'd be worried about.
I
and
would
not
be worried
bluffing.
about that too, which is why I like your idea of moving in as Aaron in the first place, because then you can get called by worse and you don't have to put yourself in that spot.
Yeah, I like that too. Taylor can have other hands too, besides like what he has. He can be slow playing sets. He can have ace 9 and be slow playing and filled up
Yeah.
on the river too. It's reasonable.
Well, it's a big hand for Taylor, and he's right back in the game.
I mean, these guys were probably getting it in almost no matter what. Aaron flopped to flush draw, turned to pair, river to flush.
Yeah.
And Taylor was pretty short. But huge, huge double up for Taylor. Got to be licking his chops now.
Is that the
Is that a thing?
correct
What-
timing?
What are chops?
Chops are your mouth hole. Looks like Terminator is going to get involved here with a hand.
He's
Ace Jack off.
yeah, he's changed his bet sizing now. He's made it 2.5x. He was making 3x
And we
before.
got
I
the
like
same
that.
hand for Jake. Jake has Ace Jack off a lot.
Yep.
And this time Terminator shares his hand.
I think Jake's gonna win because he's more experienced playing ace jack.
He's played Ace Jack more recently. That's true.
Joseph, do you have anything you could shove? Okay.
Was that 2 10s? This is how you find out who the better player is, Jonathan. That's what they used to say.
Yeah, but now we're saying it's just gonna be because Jake has the experience. Although does experience make someone a
I
better
actually,
player?
I give Terminator a better chance
yeah,
to
of
win
course,
this hand.
of course. It's really hard for Jake to win.
Although that's a flop, we might just see check.
Yeah. Jake is often gonna chop, but almost never gonna win, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. Nope. Thinking about
Wait
winning.
a second, Jake.
I don't know if Terminator's checking to fold though. It is a crappy spot though.
He is checking.
And Jake gets to
Oh.
win. We were wrong.
How good does it feel when the guy shows the same hand and,
And
you
he
were
manages
bluffing?
the discipline of not showing that he had the same hand. That's hard to do.
Jake also did the nodding thing, like, "Oh yeah, you had a pretty good hand, but
Yeah,
I
nice
I
fold, man.
Yeah.
Good
But I have
fold,
like
yeah.
I have 2 8s or I have king queen, and yeah, you just have to fold there, and yeah. I made that nod. I know that nod.
Yeah,
That's the liar's nod.
that's definitely the I just bluffed nod.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like you don't really do that when you have it. Why
No.
would you do it when you have it?
No, when you have it, you scream and yell and are mad.
Exactly. Like how can you fold?
You're so bad. Give me the chips.
Terminator just been leaking chips for a solid hour now, hour and a half.
Much like that liquid T1000 unit leaks.
Interesting point.
It
There's
looks
the
like,
ace 9 off.
The blinds have
There
gone
it
up.
is.
The blinds have gone up
Oh,
to
yeah.
400 with a 50 ante. So these pots are gonna become quite significant for these stacks.
Yeah. Yeah, Terminator's down to, well, he still has 45 blinds almost.
Digital Dan with an interesting decision here.
Yeah. He's pretty short. He's only got 20 some odd blinds.
He could move in. He could fold. He
I don't
could-
like a call. I think it's move in or fold.
Yeah.
I think a fold is in order. Terminator, yeah. Terminator
Nice,
opened
nice
under the
fold
gun.
by Dan.
Action Aaron has a decision as well here.
He's down to 5.7K here at the 400 big blind.
Yeah, it's not a good spot. Joseph's still hanging around.
Yeah, but he's getting in desperation mode here. And Carey calling out of the big blind, getting a pretty good price with all the antes involved.
Yep. He's got the suited hand. Should end quickly.
Nobody likes this flop.
Carey does the check.
Terminator might check back. No, he's gonna bet.
I like betting with
Gonna
your under
work.
the gun range. This is supposed to slam your under the gun range.
Absolutely.
Even though you have ace 9 and it's somewhat showdownable and all that, like whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, let's go. Give me the chips.
Give me them chips.
Give me them chips.
That's what they say in the Scarf Corner. Nom nom nom. Give me them chips.
Exactly. Give me some guacamole over here. I got all these chips.
And I have a scarf to wipe the guacamole if I need to.
I love guacamole.
Should rename it Guacamole Corner, maybe.
Nah, I don't know if I'm ready for that. That's quite a
Maybe
commitment.
maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe. See, if Jake wasn't wearing the baseball hat, but the baseball hat changes everything.
It changes everything. He manages to be everything and nothing at the same
Look
time.
at- do you see the way his hand was like he was doing the thinker pose there? I really bought it, but then the baseball hat changes things.
You think he's messing up?
I think he's messing up.
Aaron with the disciplined fold of the ace-8 suited there.
I wonder if Joseph is starting to regret folding those 8s now. He's
Yeah, he's getting short.
getting really short. It's hard to see a hand as good as 8s when you're short, man.
And look at this. The pot's already 3.1K.
Yeah. It's going to be Carey with the best flop. I made it sound like everyone has a flop, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Going to check through here on the turn as well.
I bet we're going to check all the way down here.
Well, let's give it a chance. Yeah, I think you're right. Carey just in bluff catching mode.
Gary's going to get to win this thing.
Taylor's got a showdownable hand. Thinks he might win once in a while, but quickly gets the bad news. See how classy Carey is? Look at that. Just
What do you
doing
mean?
his thing.
What do you mean?
Doesn't Carey with that whatever he's wearing there? He looks sort of like he belongs like in
A pullover.
sci-fi.
I think that's called a pullover.
Looks like he belongs like Star Trek, like as in, you know, like a lieutenant. I'm
Lieutenant.
gonna start calling him Lieutenant Carey.
Okay.
That's his new name.
All right. It's going to
The
happen.
beard helps too. He's number 1. You know, he looks a little bit like Jonathan Frakes, just a little bit.
I don't see it. I'm
The
not.
the beard and the coloring. That's about it.
I'm not seeing it.
Number 1. That's his other new nickname.
Okay. Very well thought out nicknames there.
It's poker time, you know.
Yeah, that is a meaningful thing to say at that point.
Digital Dan just waiting around. Joseph,
Oh, it's finally time. He's
Yeah.
going for it. Under 10 bigs.
8.5.
Oh, and he's going to get called
Yep.
34.20.
by a better hand, unfortunately for him.
So if you're Terminator, he decides to call. He could move in as well. but
Are we
he
going to
decides
have our
call.
first elimination here? I mean, it looks like
We're more than likely we are going to have
65%
it.
of the time we're going to have our first elimination.
Can Joseph get there? Win his second pot? Nope.
Not so
Not
far, though.
yet.
Chop outs, though.
That's pretty good. An ace will do it
Oh,
too.
we got
wow.
the 10 now.
Jack or a queen? Just
And
a
look
jack.
at that. He gets
excuse
to
me.
double through, and he's back up to almost 20 blinds.
4.25.
That was pretty nice for Joseph. And look how just takes it like it's normal. Yeah,
Term-
you know.
Terminator is fallen from chip lead. He had the early chip lead, and he just can't win a pot for a while now.
Yep. Still has more than starting stack. It's got more than it's still above average, but yeah, he had what 26K down to 15. But you can't fault him for that.
No, that was a very easy either call or raise there.
Yeah.
Had to get involved.
And he was in a great spot.
I'm kind of surprised nobody's busted yet. I imagine we're going to see a bust somewhat soon.
You would think. I don't know if now Joseph can afford to fold a lot more good hands.
Yeah, he can.
He can fold down to like 7th place.
But the blind's going to keep going up.
I know Digital Dan's down to 20 blinds.
Taylor folds 5s under the
Wow.
gun. I understand why. And of course,
Yeah.
it's because he knew Digital Dan had 2 10s.
Those, of course, are 2 digitally reproduced 10s. Those are not 2 actual 10s. And that's because it's Digital Dan. He's the guy who actually
But
created.
isn't everybody's hand digitally reproduced?
But did
when-
all of them create the digital reproductions? No, only Digital Dan.
Okay.
And you know what?
What?
That's why they call him Digital Dan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in case you were wondering.
He's just going to get to win the pot there.
Yeah.
You kind of want to get it in with 2 10s if you're Dan, but you're okay winning the pot as well.
Yeah, you know, if someone 3-bets you, it's not the greatest spot with 10s, but of course you're going to get it in.
You're
going to
go for it.
in this
And
format.
when there's still all 8 players remaining, you're kind of happy to get it in with a hand that good and just hope for a double up.
Yeah, but of course the other side of that is if you're like 4-handed, then the quality of hand you're up against is worse. 8-handed, the quality of hand that gets it in with you is it's a tighter
True.
range.
True, but there is dinner equity. If you
That's
bust
true.
early, you get to go to dinner.
That is a great point.
Yeah.
And dinner equity rocks.
I was at a tournament recently, and I had some dinner equity, and I kept doubling up, and I didn't get to eat Grimaldi's in Vegas, man.
Oh, the best pizza place
Yeah,
in
I had
the
to eat the
world.
fast food instead.
I'm now hungry for Grimaldi.
And then I bubbled. It was the worst of all outcomes.
That is really bad.
Yeah. Fast food instead of Grimaldi's and then bubble. What is that? That's just not fair. Anyway, Mitzif with Queen Deuce suited.
What is fair is Mitzif decides to open from the small blind, and Taylor's going to have to defend.
That's
His-
a bit looser than we've seen Mitzif so far, but I guess with the blinds going up, he feels it's worth taking a shot.
It's time to start stealing.
And he's going to win if he just keeps betting.
You would think.
Oh, he checks, though, and Taylor quickly checks back.
Taylor picks up the gutter.
Is Mitzif going to rep
Wow,
the
Mitzif
king
looks
now?
like he's just giving up right away.
That's interesting. He's
He does
ahead,
he does have the best hand, but
and
still.
now he hit Rivers a deuce. They both haven't taken a shot.
That
and-
is surprising. I guess Taylor felt like Mitzif was showdownable, so he didn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I guess so. He'd have to bet twice, he thinks, to win.
Yeah. That would have worked, though, I gotta believe. Right? I mean, if he bets the turn, of course it would have worked.
I'm a bit surprised at how passively both of those guys played that.
Yeah.
hand.
If you're Mitzif and you decide to raise from the small blind, then to immediately go into showdown mode, I guess he had queen high. Maybe in his mind that's good enough.
Maybe. It's possible.
It's possible.
Although
Still.
Taylor never took a shot, and usually if Taylor doesn't take a shot, he has something showdownable himself.
Yeah, you would expect that. Once in a while, you're supposed to, play your really weak hands, non-showdownable hands that way too, but mostly not.
Maybe Taylor just thinks he can find better spots.
It must be. Well, if he took a shot on the river, it probably wasn't going to work. So
Probably not. Although he is repping better than a deuce.
yeah,
Now Joseph's got a bit of an awkward situation with his stack size in that hand in early position. I understand.
could have opened.
I understand the fold though.
it would have been fine to open normal there.
It would be. It would be.
Terminator not slowing down. He might get this one through. All that's left is the digital one. And by 3xing it, actually he changed his sizing again pre-flop. He back up
He
to
did.
3xing. That worked. I think if he makes it, a little bit less, he might get a call from digital.
He
Dan,
might.
too.
Although Dan might be in pretty tight mode
Yeah,
right now.
you're right with his short stack. Always feels good to steal the blinds. Never not good to steal the blinds.
Yep.
Even when you got a big hand.
It feels
good.
pretty bad when you have aces to steal the blinds.
It's better than losing.
It's better
Huh?
than losing.
Am I
but
wrong?
does it feel good, Jonathan? Be honest.
How does losing feel, Grant?
It feels good because it makes you feel alive, Like the cold wind on your face.
The brisk, sartorial.
Why do you always say
Wait.
sartorial? Why stop saying
It's because
sartorial?
every time Jake comes up with, I think sartorial.
But
From
that
Scarf
was-
Corner.
And Terminator's going to limp here. And look at this brilliant limp because Mitzif has 2 kings.
He sure does.
And
I
Mitzif
like
has
it.
got in full turtle mode. Look at that.
That is accurate. Action Aaron.
He's 700 to call. There is a lot in the pot, and he can assume that Terminator's going to call as well.
The problem is he's so short.
He's
though.
really
He's
short.
got 11 blinds
and he has 6
behind.
high. I think you're supposed to fold, but
It's not crazy
it's
to
not-
call.
I mean, there is 4K in the pot now.
Yeah, it's not crazy. The problem is if you flop a pair, you might just go broke.
Well, I guess you have to be willing to go broke sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Mitzif's just going to win with this
I,
with a bet.
I like a shove by Action Aaron more than a call there, actually.
I don't think you have any fold equity.
He had
against-
13 blinds. Of course he does.
When Mitzif makes it
Mitzvah made it
1100.
3K. I mean, 3x.
It was more than
absolutely have
3x.
full- no, it wasn't.
Yeah, he made it 1.1, didn't he?
Yeah, it's 2-4.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking 153.
I think absolutely he has full equity there. But anyway,
Mitzif gets to win with the kings. He was probably hoping Terminator was going to check raise him.
yeah, I don't think he was going to fold
Nope.
to the Terminator. He would have just kept going until someone was dead.
Yeah. It's one of those spots as Mitzif pre-flop when Aaron just calls and you're like, oh, come on, man. Why don't you just move it in?
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Please.
if it was me, I might have. That 6-5 suited.
And
So
Mitzif would have been so happy. And
until I go runner, runner.
yeah, that's how you do it.
That's what I do. Ask anybody.
Okay.
Are you really going to do that? Don't
I'm gonna-
ask.
I'm
Don't.
gonna
Please
ask your-
don't.
I'm going to ask your parents.
Please don't bother people. They're busy. Jake looking quite.
Sartorial.
I would never say that. I was going to say collegiate.
Oh, Yeah, he looks
He
like
does kind of look like
he looks
collegiate.
like he's going to an Ivy League school in 1938 minus the hat.
Yeah. He belongs in Dead Poet Society.
Yeah.
Minus the hat.
Fold all in rings.
Action Aaron moves in.
With a blind hand, we don't know what he has.
Here's Jake opening the ace deuce. Let's see what kind of price he's getting here. It's going to be 3.2. He's getting almost 2 to 1 to call.
I think you're supposed to call here,
It's really close.
especially with the stack Jake has. He's never
Yeah.
more than a 2-to-1 dog, really.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Almost never. Aces is the only thing I guess any dominated ace, any big dominated ace, he's a little bit more than a 2 to 1
Yeah.
dog. So that would be the problem. But Jake just feels like it's too exploitable to fold, and Action Aaron's going to be wider than most. Action Aaron actually has a hand.
We got another all in here.
By the way, Joseph, this could have been you. 2 8s.
Well, Jake flops a
Little
deuce.
something. Doesn't really change too much unless he hits
Oh.
another deuce, Grant.
Is Aaron going to be the first casualty?
Yes.
He is.
Action Aaron, whose chip stack really roller coastered throughout, is now giggity gone.
Well said. We do have our first elimination. Wasn't much you could do on that last hand.
No, Action Aaron got to love how he got it in there. And Joseph seems to be happy not to be finishing 9th.
There. That's true, although he's very rarely going to make the money still at this point
He's going
unless
to
he
need a
starts
double
doubling
up.
up.
Yeah,
you
he's
know?
just going to need a double up somewhere or 2. But that can happen. It's no limit, man. Stuff happens in a hurry.
Jake now with a commanding chip lead.
Yeah, he's opened it up a little bit with that very, very lucky deuce on the turn. It was a 9K pot, I think.
Should have never called, like I was saying.
Yeah. Well, if you know the deuce is coming, why would you fold?
That's a good point.
Yep. Digital Dan and Joseph in the red zone. 20 blinds and less. He's really looking at those cards, but he does find
He likes to
fold.
look at the cards. It's a good strategy.
I think you should look at your hand
Yeah.
before you make an action, normally anyway. So I give him credit for that.
Raise 900.
Oh, Taylor's got a nice hand here.
There's got a I'm never folding hand.
Yep. Ace King suited just looks so pretty.
900. And a fold.
If he knew how tight Joseph was, he probably wouldn't be rooting for Joseph to
Oh, and he
shove.
gets no action. The problem is it is Carey's big blind, and I'm not saying there's a problem with opening, but Carey's going to defend a lot, and he's going to have a wide range. It's going to be hard to put him on a hand. So it's not the best spot to have Ace King, but obviously we're hoping for somebody to 3-bet us.
Yeah, you're just gonna play it how you play it. After you figure it out post flop. Carry calls. You're gonna bet on some boards, check on others. It's fine. Things that are good for his range, you're more apt to check.
Jake looking happy after busting Action Aaron in a slightly dirty way.
Oh, no.
But Jake, even if he's busting people in dirty ways, look how clean cut that guy is.
Sartorial. Yeah.
I would never use that word because it's sort of patronizing.
It's
Quite
antiquated,
frankly, the way you use it, patronizing.
Joseph with Ace 3 off. We've seen him.
He is on the
fold-
button.
We've seen him fold better hands than this on the button.
He's got 17 blinds. He decides to open. It's not crazy.
Looks like it's going to work out.
Does it?
What?
Doesn't look like Terminator's
Okay.
going anywhere.
Well, that's a loose defend. With,
Yes.
With Joseph's effective stack being so short.
Agreed. But if you flop a pair, you may just have to hold on.
He did flop a pair, but
This
it's not a
is-
good board.
No, it's a really bad board. We can only beat ace highs and crazy things now.
Joseph's going to check it back. He does have some showdown value here.
He does. And he's got a little more now.
That's a nice card for Joseph.
I think you should check again, Joseph. It's going to be hard to get
Nice
value.
check. That's a nice check.
Excellent check. It's harder to
Well,
get the double up now.
Now he's
but
got 2 pairs, so that's pretty good.
I'm assuming Terminator's going to check. And Joseph's definitely going to find a bet here.
Yeah, but will Terminator call?
That's the question. Joseph's gone check, chickadee check all the way down. But is he really going to turn his hand into a bluff now that he decided to raise now? Seems unlikely, right?
It seems unlikely, but Terminator might be confused by the check back on the ace.
Yep.
Thinking
And now
that-
betting.
Joseph would bet an ace most of the time if he had it.
Yep. And he looks like he is going to find a call here. No, he's just thinking about it.
He does.
There it is.
He puts the money in and gets the bad news.
Terminator, no interest in being bluffed.
No, certainly not. Not the guy to bluff.
No, him and Digital Dan really, really not fascinated with being bluffed.
Not fascinated with it. They might find it interesting, although repugnant.
I suppose that's true. We'll have to interview those guys later and get the lowdown.
Yeah. What adjectives would you use
See,
when?
look at Jake. It's like someone's lecturing right now, and he's just really thinking about it. Really thinking about that.
Are you?
Philosophy.
You seem
art,
a little bit too
literature.
focused on this.
It's such a weird combination.
And then call the shove.
I mean, look at the fashion stuff. We got Mitsev, who looks like. I mean, I don't even know. I don't want to say it. Okay.
He looks like Kevin James on a day off.
Yes, that is great. That's well said. And then you got, Scarf Corner.
Scarf Corner, which looks like, Dead Poet Society type stuff going on.
Digital Dan decides to open it up here a little bit with the ace-7 off. And he's just got to get through Jake. I don't think he will, although Digital Dan's short enough. There you go. That's why. The implied odds just aren't there for Jake, I guess.
They're not.
That said, Digital Dan's short enough, you might call anyway.
Yeah, you flop pretty well with that type of hand.
Yeah. You just got to play your draws really aggressively when your opponent's that short.
Yep. Just be okay with losing, I guess.
Yeah, you flop a straight draw, you flop a flush draw, you just check raise all in and don't worry about it. Or check raise enough that you're effectively all in. That's my move.
Every queen high there is.
Okay.
Grant.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yep. I figured you would.
He just wants Batiste to see it.
Digital Dan, loving life over there, huh?
You think Taylor's
happy.
from L.A. or Atlanta? He's got some confusing team affiliations on his clothes. So he's got aces, by the way.
I think that A on his hat is just for American Airlines.
He's like, I have aces. And look at this. Terminator's got ace queen.
Is Terminator going to 3-bet? It's not crazy to 3-bet.
Just
he
calls. This
saves
kind of
himself.
unlucky for Taylor.
Yeah, like they absolutely could have got it in right now. Or at least Taylor could have put in a 4-bet and put Terminator in the torture chamber.
This is going to be the last hand of this episode of this sit and go. Are we going to have another elimination?
Will there be a big confrontation?
Well, maybe not.
Terminator has the Queen of Spades.
Ooh, Taylor's makes a tricky check there.
Kind of like it. There's not too much for Terminator to have that he can call with.
Just kings, really.
Yep.
He's trying to get value out of, pocket pairs that might fold the flop. Terminator looks like he's going to call with the ace high.
It's a little loose, but okay. It's not crazy. You got the nut, no pair here.
You would expect Taylor would have bet his queen highs on the flop.
Yes.
A lot of the time, though.
I would have expected that. But you can actually beat other aces.
You can, although...
Would they bet the turn?
I don't know. It's close.
It's hard to say.
And third 5, I don't think Taylor's going to manage to get much more
He's gotta
value. He
bet.
just checks.
Wow, that's a
and
surprising
looks
check.
like Terminator checked back real quick.
I think he's supposed to bet that, actually.
Taylor, you mean?
Yeah. Like, if Terminator call on the turn, he's often going to call on the river unless he had a gut shot.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, that'll do it for this episode. We'll see you guys next week.
Jake, is that you thought